This
is not a coincidence. This is the vibrational signal that calls to those whose time has come. There are no accidents when it comes to awakening. The fact that you're here now reading these words is not a digital glitch in the algorithm. It is the ancient current, the same current that carried the voices of the Vedic seers through Himalayan winds, the same pulse that made the walls of the Egyptian temples sing in golden resonance, the same breath that whispered secrets into the ears of desert prophets beneath a starlit sky. And today,
that breath has reached
that
you.
breath
There is something
has reached
happening
you.
behind the
There is
veil.
something happening
A portal
behind
that
the
was
veil.
sealed for
A
thousands
portal
of
that
years
was
is
sealed
beginning
for
to shift.
thousands of
Not
years
physically,
is beginning to
energetically.
shift.
A
Not
tuning fork
physically,
vibrating at a frequency that very few are
energetically.
calibrated
A tuning
to detect.
fork vibrating at a
here,
frequency
that
that
means
very
your
few
frequency
are calibrated
is beginning to
detect.
match it. They
If
called
you're
it
here,
the echo
that means
of
your
tomorrow.
frequency
The
is beginning
ancients
to match
described
it.
it not as a place, but a
They called it
vibration
the
that could only be
echo
heard
of
when the
tomorrow.
soul is ready.
The ancients
a tone
described it
soft,
not as a place,
penetrating
but a
that rearranges
vibration
your
that can only
energy
be
field
heard when
the
the soul
moment
is
you
ready.
attune to
A
it.
tone soft,
A calling
but
so
penetrating that
subtle that most
rearranges
dismiss
your
it as
energy field
imagination.
the moment you
But if
attune
you've been
to it.
feeling
A calling
restless
so
lately,
subtle that
as
most
though
dismiss it
something
as
is approaching,
imagination. But if you've
if
been
your
feeling
sleep has
restless
been
lately,
deeper
as
or
though
stranger,
something is approaching.
if you've been sensing
If your sleep
something
has
just
been
out of
deeper
reach,
or
like a
stranger.
whisper beneath
If you've been
reality,
sensing something just out
that's
of
the
reach,
echo,
like a
and
whisper
it's
beneath
getting
reality,
louder. I remember
that's
the
the
first
echo.
time I felt it.
and it's
It
getting
was
louder.
just before
I
dawn.
remember the first
I
time
wasn't
I felt
meditating.
it.
I wasn't
It
doing
was
anything
just
mystical.
before dawn.
I was simply
I
breathing.
wasn't
And then, like a
meditating.
tremor through my
I wasn't doing
bones,
anything
I
mystical.
heard the vibration behind the
I
silence.
was simply breathing.
It wasn't a sound.
And then like a tremor
but more
through my
like
bones, I
a
heard the
knowing,
vibration
like
behind the
something had
silence.
found me. Something
It wasn't
old,
a sound,
something
more like
patient. And in
a
that
knowing,
moment,
like something
everything
had found
changed.
me.
Not because
Something
I
old,
believed,
something
but because
patient.
I surrendered.
And in that moment,
Now I ask you if you're ready
everything
to hear the
changed.
vibration, to feel
not
it
because
course
I
through your
believed,
being,
but
to
because
open
I
what has long been
surrendered.
sealed.
Now
Then
I
do
ask
this.
you if
Right
you're
now,
ready to hear the vibration,
practice of entry.
to feel it course
1.
through your being,
Sit upright.
to open
Do
what
not
has
lie
long been
down.
sealed. Then
This is
do
not
this
sleep. This is
right
awakening.
now.
2.
The practice of
Close
entry.
your eyes.
Sit
Slowly.
upright.
Feel the
Do not lie
darkness
down.
as a canvas,
This is
not a
not
void.
sleep.
3.
This is awakening.
Inhale
Close your
slowly
eyes.
for 6 counts.
Slowly.
4. Hold your
Feel
breath
the darkness
for 3.
as a
5.
canvas.
Exhale
not a
for
void.
9. 6.
Inhale slowly
Repeat this breathing
for
for
6
3
counts.
cycles only.
Hold your breath for
not
3.
more, not less.
Exhale
7.
for 9.
Then, speak
Repeat
this
this
phrase
breathing for
aloud
3 cycles
gently,
only.
but with
Not
full awareness.
more.
I am ready for the vibration of
Not
tomorrow.
less.
Now wait.
Then,
There will be a
speak
moment
this phrase
of
aloud
silence
gently,
that follows.
but with full
Don't
awareness.
chase it.
I am
Let
ready
it
for
come.
the vibration of tomorrow.
Let it arrive inside your
Now
body
wait.
as a
There will be a
shiver,
moment of
a tingle,
silence that
a flicker of
follows.
emotion, a sudden memory,
Don't
a
chase
tear.
it.
This is your
Let
first signal. Do not
it
dismiss it,
Come.
even if it's small.
Let it arrive
This
inside your
signal
body
is
as a
proof
shiver,
that your energy
a
field
tingle,
has received the
a
key.
flicker of
If
emotion,
you felt anything
a sudden
at all,
memory,
then you are not
a
imagining
tear.
thing.
This
The
is your
process
first
has
signal.
begun. Your resonance
Do not
is
dismiss
shifting.
it, even
The ancient
if it's
current
small.
is reawakening in you.
This
tomorrow
signal
will not
is
arrive
proof
the same.
that your energy field
This
has
gate
received the
cannot
key.
be forced
If you
open.
felt
It
anything,
appears only when
at
the
all,
mind
then you are
surrenders to
not
stillness
imagining
so
things.
absolute that time
The
itself
process has
pauses in
begun.
reverence.
Your resonance
Do you
is
know
shifting.
what frightens the mind
The ancient
most?
current is reawakening
Not
in you.
chaos, not
And tomorrow
suffering,
will not
but
arrive the
silence.
same.
Total,
This gate
impossible.
cannot be forced
Vast
open.
silence.
It appears
The kind of
only when the mind
silence
surrenders
that
to
doesn't
stillness,
just
so
mute the noise,
absolute that
but
time itself
dismantles
pauses
the
in
very
reverence.
identity that listens for it.
Do you know what
The
frightens the
ancient
mind
masters
most?
called it
Not
shunyata,
chaos,
in the east
not
emptiness,
suffering,
not as void,
but
but as
silence.
potential. In Tibet,
Total,
the monks
impossible,
of the Dzogchen lineage
vast
trained their
silence.
breath to stop.
The kind of
just
silence
long
that
enough
docent tea
to
just
slip
mute
through
the
this
noise
crack
but
in
dismantles
reality.
the very
And in
identity
Egypt,
that listens
inside
for it.
the cryptic
The
walls
ancient
beneath
masters
the temple
called
of
it
Seti,
Shinyak
initiates
in the
would
east
sit in soundless
emptiness,
darkness
not
for
as
72
void,
hours,
but as
until their
potential.
thoughts dissolved like
In Tibet,
mist in the heat
the monks
of the
of the
sun.
Dzogchen lineage
Why?
trained their
Because
breath
only
to
beyond
stop
thought
just
does the
long
true
enough
energy
to slip
awaken.
through this
You see,
crack in reality.
most people chase
and in
energy
Egypt,
with intention,
inside the cryptic
with
walls
effort, with
beneath
chanting,
the temple
affirming,
of Seti, initiates
visualizing,
would sit
begging
in
for proof.
soundless darkness
But the gate
for
of no thought
72
requires none of this.
hours
In fact,
until their thoughts
it rejects all of
dissolve
it.
like
This
mist
gate
in the
is
heat
ancient,
of the sun.
more ancient
Why?
than any
Because
temple.
only beyond thought
It
does the
exists in
true
every
energy
being, but reveals
awaken.
itself
You see,
only to those who are
most
willing to
people
stop thinking,
chase energy
even if
with
just for a
intention,
heartbeat.
with effort,
And when it
with
opens,
chanting,
there are no
affirming,
fireworks, no
visualizing,
visions, no
begging
voices,
for proof.
just
But the gate of
the
no
pulse,
thought requires
the
none
raw,
of this.
radiant
In
pulse
fact,
of pure awareness.
It rejects
It's
all
like like feeling yourself
This
for the
gate
first time
is
without
ancient.
identity,
More
without
ancient?
memory, without
mini
fear.
temple. It
Just a
exists
field
in
of
every being, but
presence,
reveals itself only
vibrating
to
with the
those who are willing
clarity
to
of a
stop
diamond
thinking even
held
if
up to
just for a
sunlight.
heartbeat.
And this
when it
is
opens,
the
there
beginning
are
of
no
transformation.
fireworks.
But here is the danger.
No visions.
Many turn back at this gate.
No voices.
Because the mind resists
Just
its own death.
the pulse.
It will scream.
The raw,
It will seduce.
radiant
It will
pulse
flood you with
of
thoughts
pure
so clever,
awareness.
so convincing.
It's like feeling yourself
that
for the
you'll
first
swear
time
they
without
are your
identity,
intuition,
without
but
memory,
they are not.
without
They
fear.
are the final
Just
defenses.
a field of
Do not
presence,
listen.
vibrating with
Instead,
the
do this.
clarity of
The
a
practice of the
diamond
silent
held up to
entry.
sunlight.
1.
And this,
Sit in complete stillness.
this
No
is
music,
the beginning
no
of
guided words.
transformation.
Just you.
But
2.
here is
Keep
the
your
danger.
eyes slightly
Many
open,
turn
barely a
back at
slit.
this gate.
Fix your gaze
Because
on
the
a single
mind
point on the wall.
resists its
If
own
it blurs,
death.
that's good.
It will
3.
scream. It
Set a
will
timer for
seduce.
exactly 2
It will
minutes.
flood you with thoughts
No
so
more.
clever,
4.
so convincing
During this time,
that you'll swear they
do
are
not
your
engage
intuition.
with any
but
thought.
they
If a
are
thought arises,
not.
do not
They are the
fight
final
it.
defenses.
Let it pass like
Do
a
not
bird
listen.
across the sky.
Instead, do this.
You are not the bird.
practice
You
of
are
the silent
sky.
entry.
Most will fail this the
Sit
first time.
in complete
That's
stillness.
expected.
No
But once,
music.
just once, if you succeed
No
in passing
guided
even
words.
15 seconds with no engagement
Keep
with
your
thought,
eyes slightly open,
gate will
barely a
open.
slit.
and you will feel
Fix
it.
your gaze on a
A
single
ripple
point on
through
the
your
wall.
spine.
If it blurs,
A sudden
that's
drop
good.
into stillness so deep
Set a
it
timer for
swallows
exactly
your
2
name.
minutes.
Afterwards,
No more.
you may feel
During this time,
disoriented.
do not
you may forget
engage
where you
with
are.
any
You may
thought.
even feel sadness.
If a thought arises,
because
do
your
not
old
fight
self,
it.
your thinking
Let it
self
pass
has
like a
been slightly
bird across the
displaced.
sky.
This is not bad.
You
This is birth.
are not
the gate
bird.
of no thought does
You
not open
are
twice in the
sky.
same way. But once
Most
you pass
will
through
fail
it,
this
even
the first
partially,
time.
the entire
That's
vibrational
expected.
field around
But
your
once
body begins to
once if
reconfigure.
you succeed in
You
passing
become a
even
beacon,
15 seconds
and that
with no
means the next
engagement with
energy
thought,
one you've never felt
the
before
gate will
is
open
now
and
headed
you
your
will
way.
feel it.
It knows you're ready.
A ripple
It's
through
on
your
its way.
spine. A
This
sudden
is the
drop
ancient
into
sound
stillness.
frequency
So
buried by
deep it
time,
swallows your
distorted
name.
by
Afterwards,
priests,
you may
feared by
feel
kings.
disoriented.
But once sung
you
into
may
the field,
forget
it
where
reprograms
you
your
are.
energetic
You may
structure
even feel
in less
sadness.
than one breath.
Because your old
There was
self,
once
your
a
thinking
tone,
self, has been slightly
a single
displaced.
note,
This is
not
bad.
part of any
This
known
is
musical
birth.
scale.
The gate
not
of no
aligned
thought
with
does not
Western
open
pitch,
twice
nor
in the
locked in
same
any
way.
sacred chant
But once you
we've
pass through
memorized
it,
today.
even partially,
And yet,
the entire
this
vibrational
one
field
tone
around your
sung
body
correctly
begins to reconfigure.
just once was
You
said to unlock the
become
field around the human
a
body,
beacon.
to cause
And that
light
means
to
the
spiral
next
around the
energy
crown,
one you've
to
never
make the
felt
bones
before is
resonate in
now
alignment,
headed your
to
way.
release grief from the
It
cellular
knows
memory.
you're ready.
They called it
It's
the
on
forgotten
its
chord.
way.
It is not a metaphor.
This is
In
the
the halls
ancient
of Dendera
sound
in Egypt,
frequency
the
buried by
walls
time,
hum with a
distorted
memory.
by priests,
The strange,
feared by
bulbous
kings.
glyphs you've
But
seen,
once
those
sung
weren't
into the
just
field,
symbols of
it reprograms your
technology.
energetic
They were
structure
instruments
in
for
less
transmitting
than one breath.
vibration
There
through
was once
ether.
a tone.
In India, the ancient
A
rishis
single
would
note.
whisper of
Not
the
part of any
primordial
known
seed
musical
sound
scale,
before
not
even
aligned
Om,
with Western
one
pitch,
that was too
nor
dangerous to
locked
give
in
to the
any
masses
sacred chant we've
because it
memorized
didn't
today.
elevate emotion.
And yet this
it
one
rewrote
tone
form.
soon
And in
correctly
Tibet, this
just
sound
once
kept
was said
alive
to
through
unlock the field
overtoned
around the
throat
human
singing.
body,
But
to
only
cause
the inner
light to
lineage
spiral
was
around the
taught
crown,
precise breath ratio
to make the
needed
bones
to
resonate
activate the
in
field.
alignment,
Now
to
listen
release
carefully.
grief
You
from
have
the
this cord
cellular
inside you.
memory.
It lives in your diaphragm.
They called it the
in your
forgotten
throat,
chord.
in the micro muscles
It is not
that
a
control your
metaphor.
breath. It
In
is
the
not
halls of
something you can
Dendera
imitate
in
from a
Egypt,
video.
the walls
You cannot
hummed
fake
with a
the
memory.
vibration.
The
But if
strange,
you perform the technique
bulbous
below,
glyphs you've
with
seen
sacred
those
presence, not ego,
weren't just
not
symbols of
performance,
technology.
it will
They were
begin to
instruments for
emerge from within
transmitting
you.
vibration
You may
through
cry.
ether. In India,
You may tremble.
the ancient rishis
You may
would
forget
whisper
how
of
to
the
speak for a
primordial seed
moment.
sound before
But
even
once
Om
the
one that
chord
was
is
too
released,
dangerous to give to
even
the masses.
just a
because
whisper
it
of
didn't
it, your
elevate
field changes
emotion. It
instantly.
rewrote.
You will feel it
form.
like a chord
And
struck
in
inside your
Tibet,
chest.
this sound was
Something
kept
in you
alive
knows this
through
sound,
overtoned
even if
throat
your
singing.
ears do not.
But only the inner
The
lineage was
technique of
taught
the
the
forgotten
precise breath
chord.
ratio needed to
Do
activate
this
the
practice
field.
after you've sat
Now,
in
listen
silence
carefully.
from the
You
previous
have
section.
this cord
Never before.
inside you.
Aim.
It lives in your
Place your
diaphragm,
right
in your
palm
throat,
over your
in the
sternum,
micro muscles
your
that
heart
control your
center.
breath. It is
2.
not something you
Take in one
can
slow
imitate
breath
from a
through your
video.
nose.
You
Fill the belly, not the
cannot
chest.
fake
3.
the vibration.
As you
but if you
exhale,
perform the technique
shape
below
your lips into a soft
with sacred
"you"
presence,
sound like.
not ego,
in the word
not performance
truth,
it,
but
will
let
begin
it
to emerge
vibrate
from
in your
within you.
chest, not your mouth.
You may cry.
4. Sustain the
tremble.
sound for as
You may
long as
forget
is
how to speak
comfortable.
for a moment,
Don't
but
force
once
volume.
the chord is released,
Focus on
even
resonance.
just a whisper of
5.
it, your
Repeat
field
3
changes.
times. Each
Instantly,
time lower the pitch
you will
slightly
feel it like a
and
chord
listen not
struck
with your
inside
ears,
your chest.
but with your body.
Something in
Somewhere
you
in the
knows this
third breath,
sound, even
the
if your
tone may
ears do
shift.
not.
It
The
may
technique
wobble,
of the
deepen,
forgotten chord.
become hollow or haunting.
Do this practice after
That's
you've
when
sat in
you've
silence
touched
from the
it.
previous section.
That's when the chord begins
Never
to
before.
awaken.
Place your
The
right
ancients
palm over
warned.
your sternum.
This sound will
Your
call to
heart
memory
center.
the emotions
Take in
you
one
buried
slow
long
breath
ago.
through your nose.
You may feel things
Fill
from
the
childhood,
belly.
from
not the
lifetimes.
chest.
Don't
As you
run.
exhale,
The
shape your
vibration
lips
is
into a
not
soft
breaking
you
you.
sound like in the word
It's
truth,
rearranging you.
but let it vibrate
When
in
I
your
found
chest,
it for the
not
first
your mouth.
time, my
Sustain
hands
the
went
sound
numb.
for as long
I
as
wept
is
not from
comfortable.
sadness,
Don't
but from
force
the feeling
volume.
of being seen.
Focus
something I
on
couldn't name.
resonance.
Afterward, I
Repeat
didn't
3
sleep for 3
times.
nights.
Each time,
Not because I was
lower the
afraid,
pitch slightly
because I
and
was
listen not with
alive.
your ears,
And now,
but with your body.
If you're ready,
Somewhere
speak
in
it.
the third breath,
This is the sacred
the
breath
tone may
technique
shift.
hidden
It
beneath
may
the yogic
wobble,
myths
deepen,
and Sufi poetry.
become
A
hollow
pattern of air that
or
doesn't fill the
haunting.
lungs
That's
but
when you've
reveals your
touched
true
it.
form.
That's when
in
the
mirror
chord
of the
begins to
unseen.
awaken.
Not all mirrors
The
show
ancients
your
warned.
face. Some reveal
This sound
your
will call to
field,
memory the
your
emotions you
vibration,
buried long
your
ago.
soul's geometry.
You may feel
The
things from
ancients knew this,
childhood, from
not just in
lifetimes.
poetry or symbol, but
Don't
in
run.
practice. In
The
Egypt,
vibration is
breath
not
wasn't
breaking
just
you.
air.
It's
It was called Sa, the
rearranging
animating
you.
force,
When I
the
found it for the
divine
first
current.
time, my
in
hands
Sanskrit,
went numb.
it was
I
prana.
wept not from sadness,
In Kabbalah,
but from
it
the
became
feeling of
ruach.
being seen.
In Sufi mysticism,
By something
it was
I couldn't
Nafas
name.
al-Rahman, the
Afterward,
breath of the
I didn't sleep
all-merciful,
for 3
the
nights.
whisper of the
Not
divine.
because I was afraid,
But they all hid
because
the
I
same
was
secret.
alive. And
Breath
now,
is the mirror.
if you're
When you
ready,
breathe in a certain
speak
way,
it.
the veil
This is the
parts.
sacred breath
Not
technique,
metaphorically,
hidden beneath the yogic myths
literally.
and Sufi
I've seen
poetry.
it.
A pattern of
Not
air that
just in
doesn't
temples or
fill the
retreats,
lungs, but
sitting
reveals your
alone
true form
on
in
a
the mirror
cracked
of the
floor,
unseen.
Eyes closed.
Not all mirrors
nothing but
show
the
your
sound of
face.
breath. And
Some
suddenly,
reveal your
I saw
field,
her.
your vibration,
Not a woman, not
your
a vision.
soul's
Myself
geometry.
without the illusion.
The
Not the
ancients
body,
knew
not
this.
the thoughts,
Not just
not
in
the
poetry
age,
or symbol,
the
but
name,
in
the
practice. In
just the
Egypt,
energy,
breath wasn't just
glowing,
air, it was
spinning,
called
watching,
SA,
and
the
it
animating
terrified me,
force, the
because no
divine
one
current.
prepares you for the
In
moment when the
Sanskrit,
illusion
it was
shatters.
prana.
And yet
In
that is what this
Kabbalah,
breath does.
it became ruach.
The mirror of
In
breath
Sufi
isn't
mysticism,
like
it was
pranayama.
Nafas
It's not
al-Ramanda
about
breath
balance.
of the
It's not about
all-merciful,
calming
the
the nervous
whisper
system.
of the divine.
This breath exposes
But
you.
they all
and when
hid
it
the
does,
same secret.
You will remember who you were
Breath
before you
is the mirror.
believed what the world
When you breathe
told you
in a
to
certain
be.
way,
You will see
the veil
yourself.
parts,
But this technique
not
must be done
metaphorically,
with complete
literally.
commitment, not
I've
curiosity,
seen it.
not performance.
Not just in temples
Because
or
if you
retreats,
only
but
do it
sitting alone
halfway,
on a cracked
the
floor,
mirror
eyes
fogs,
closed,
and you'll
nothing but the
only
sound of
catch
breath.
shadows
And
of what
suddenly,
could have been.
I
But if
saw
you do
her.
it with full presence,
Not a
just
woman,
once, it will burn
not a
away
vision,
lifetimes of
myself
fog in a single
without
breath.
the illusion.
The mirror breath technique.
Not the body,
Choose a time when you are
not
alone.
the thoughts,
Not at
not
night.
the age,
Not while sleepy.
the name,
Mid-morning or late afternoon is
traumas,
best when the
just
veil is
the
thin, but
energy,
the body is alert.
glowing,
1. Sit on the ground,
spinning,
spine tall, back of the neck
watching,
aligned. Do not
and
lean.
it terrified
2.
me because
Close
no
your
one
eyes
prepares
gently.
you for the
3.
moment when the
Inhale
illusion
for 4 seconds
shatters.
through your mouth.
And yet that
4.
is what this breath
Hold
does.
for 7
The mirror of
seconds.
breath isn't like
During the
pranayama.
hold, visualize
It's not
a
about
mirror
balance.
in front of your
it's
forehead.
not about calming the
5.
nervous system.
Exhale through the nose for 8
This
seconds.
breath exposes
Imagining your
you.
breath
And
fogging
when it
up
does,
the mirror but clearing
you will
it.
remember who you
6.
were before you
Repeat
believed
4
what
times.
the world told you to
But on the
be.
4th exhale,
You will
shift
see
your
yourself,
awareness from your
but this
breath
technique must
to
be
the
done with
space
complete
behind your
commitment.
closed eyelids.
Not
Look deeper
curiosity.
than blackness.
Not
Look without
performance.
expectation.
Because
Look
if you
with
only do it
presence.
halfway,
And wait. What you might
the
see is
mirror
not light,
fogs,
not
and
vision,
you'll only
but
catch
movement.
shadows of
A
what could
shimmer,
have been.
a
But if
soft
you do it with full
geometry,
presence just
or a
once, it
sudden
will burn away
insight so
lifetimes of
sharp,
fog in a single
it
breath.
cuts through the
mirror breath
confusion
technique.
you've been holding. Some
Choose a time
feel the
when you are
breath
alone.
become cold.
Not at night.
Some feel their hands begin
not
to
while
pulse or
sleepy.
heat.
Mid-morning or
Some
late
hear
afternoon
whispers,
is
not
best
voices,
when the veil
but
is
internal
thin, but the
echoes,
body is alert.
Truths you've long buried.
Sit on the
And
ground.
in that moment,
spine
the mirror
tall.
becomes clear,
Back
and your
of the
true
neck
vibration
aligned.
looks back at you.
Do not
look away,
Close your eyes
even
gently.
if it's overwhelming.
Inhale
Because once
for
you've
4
seen your
seconds
energetic
through your
form,
mouth.
the ego
Hold
can never fully
for
convince you
7
again that you are
seconds.
small.
During
And
the
that
hold, visualize a
power.
mirror in
This
front
is
of
the
your
sense
forehead.
beyond the 5
Exhale through the
buried
nose for 8
beneath the
seconds,
noise of
imagining
thought,
your breath fogging
dimmed
up the
by
mirror by
modern
clearing
light,
it.
but still
Repeat
alive, and it
4
remembers how to see what
times.
eyes
But on the
cannot.
4th exhale,
There is something
shift
in
your
you that
awareness from
sees,
your breath to the
even in
space
total
behind your
darkness.
closed eyelids.
It hears when no
Look
sound
deeper
is
than
made.
blackness.
It senses
Look
before
without
anything
expectation.
happens. The
Look with
ancients knew of
presence
this faculty.
and wait.
They called it
what
the
you might see
inner eye,
is not light,
the ajna,
not vision,
the
but
heka sight,
movement.
or
A
simply
shimmer,
the knowing. But over
a
time,
soft
it was
geometry,
labeled
or a sudden
superstition,
insight so
buried
sharp
beneath
it cuts cuts through the confusion you've been holding. Some
And
feel
yet,
the breath
in
become
moments of
cold.
danger,
Some feel their hands begin to
inspiration,
pulse or heat.
or deep
Some hear
silence,
whispers, not
it
voices,
returns.
but internal
You felt
echoes.
it before.
Truths
Asterisk.
you've long
A
buried,
chill
and in that
just before
moment,
someone enters the room.
the mirror
Asterisk.
becomes
A sudden
clear.
pull to
And
look
your
at a
true
stranger,
vibration looks
and
back
they're
at you.
already staring at you.
Do not look
Asterisk.
away!
That feeling that
if it's
something is
overwhelming.
off. even when
Because
everything
once
looks
you've
perfect.
seen your energetic
That's
form,
not imagination.
the ego can never fully
That's your
convince you
phantom
again that
sense,
you are
the sixth
small,
awareness, the
and that
vibrational
is
antenna
power.
of your soul. In ancient
This is the
mystery
sense
schools,
beyond the
the
five
initiates were
buried
trained
beneath
to
the
walk
noise of
blindfolded
thought,
through vast
dimmed by
temples,
modern light,
navigating only
but still
by energy
alive,
signatures.
and it remembers
In
how
India,
to see what eyes
children of
cannot.
certain yogic
There is
paths
something in you
can
that
identify
sees
objects and people while
even
blindfolded.
in total
In the
darkness.
Andes, shamans
It
speak of the
hears when
second
no
sight,
sound
which
is
lives
made.
not in the
It
eyes,
senses
but in the
before
heart's
anything
field.
happens.
You were
The
born with
ancients
it, but you were
knew
trained to
of this
ignore it,
faculty.
to
They
listen
called it
instead,
the inner eye,
to
the
logic,
AGN,
analysis,
the Hekasite,
structure.
or simply
But this
the
sense was
knowing,
never meant to be logical.
But over
It
time,
speaks in
it was
vibration,
labeled
and like a muscle
superstition.
unused,
Buried beneath
it has
school
weakened,
books and fluorescent
not because
lights.
it died, but because you
And
stopped
yet,
listening. Now,
in moments
let's
of
awaken
danger,
it again,
inspiration,
even if just a flicker.
or
Because
deep
once you feel
silence,
it, truly feel it, you'll
returns.
realize
You've
you've been
felt it
navigating the
before.
world with a blindfold
A
your
chill,
entire life.
just before
The
someone
phantom
enters the
awakening
room, a
technique.
sudden pull to
Uno.
look at a stranger
Seeking
act.
complete darkness.
They're
A
already
closet,
staring at you.
a sealed
That
room,
feeling,
no
that
light,
something is
not
off,
even a crack.
even when
2.
everything looks
Before you begin,
perfect.
place an
That's
object
not
in front
imagination.
of you, something with texture.
That's your phantom
a crystal,
sensey sixth
a key,
awareness,
a bowl
the
of
vibrational
water.
antenna of
3.
your soul.
Sit
In
with your
ancient mystery
eyes
schools,
open in the
the
dark.
initiates were trained to
No
walk,
touching,
blindfolded
no
through
sound,
vast
just
temples,
presence.
navigating
4.
only by energy
Inhale
signatures.
slowly
In
and
India,
deeply.
children
With
of
each
certain
breath,
yogic paths can
imagine
identify
extending
objects and
awareness
people
into the
while
space in
blindfolded.
front of you,
In the Andes,
not sight, not
shamans
thought
speak
awareness.
of the second sight,
5.
which
Ask
lives not in the
within,
eyes,
what is
but in the
here with
heart's
me?
field. You
Don't
were born
answer.
with it,
Wait. 6.
but you were trained
Stay for
to
7
ignore
minutes.
it. To
Do
listen
not move.
instead to
During the
logic,
process,
analysis,
you may feel
structure, but this
The air
sense
change
was
around the
never
object.
meant to be logical.
A.
It
Tingling in the
speaks
forehead.
in vibration,
Asterisk.
and like a
A pressure
muscle
near the
unused,
temples.
it has
Asterisk.
weakened.
Sudden
Not because
emotion
it
without
died, but
reason.
because you stopped
This is
listening.
the phantom sense reactivating.
Now,
The moment
let's
you
awaken
stop
it
trying
again,
to figure it out,
even
it will begin
if
to
just a
whisper.
flicker.
The more
Because
you
once
practice,
you feel it, truly
the
feel
more
it, you will
precise it
realize you've
becomes.
been navigating
Eventually,
the world with a
it will guide
blindfold
your
your
decisions
entire
before your
life.
mind catches
the phantom
up.
awakening
This is why the
technique.
ancient seers were feared
Sit
not because
in
they read
complete
minds,
darkness.
but because
A
they
closet.
sensed truth before it
A
was spoken.
sealed room.
This sense doesn't
No
make
light
you
knot,
magical.
even
it
a
makes you
crack.
whole.
Before you
But be
begin,
warned.
place an object in front of you,
Reactivating this
something with
sense can make you
texture.
hypersensitive
A crystal,
at first.
a key,
Crowded
a
places
bowl of
may
water.
feel overwhelming.
Sit with your eyes open
Devices
in the
may
dark.
become harder to tolerate.
No
This is
touching.
normal. Your
no
energetic field is
sound.
recalibrating.
Just
Give it
presence.
time. You are not becoming
Inhale,
fragile.
slowly
You are becoming
and deeply.
aware.
With each
This
breath,
is not your heart.
imagine extending awareness into the space in front of you, not sight,
the first pulse
not
before the
thought
body
awareness.
formed, before time
Ask
was
within.
time. It lives
What
in
is
the
here with
silence
me?
between your
Don't
heartbeats.
answer.
And when you
Wait.
feel it,
Stay
everything
for 7
changes.
minutes.
You
Do
think
not
you
move.
know your pulse.
During the process,
But what if I told you
may feel
the beat in your
the
wrist
air change
just the echo.
around the object.
The real
a
pulse,
tingling
the primordial
in the
vibration,
forehead.
exists beneath
A
it.
pressure
It's older than
near
the body,
temples.
older than
Sudden
your name,
emotion
older
without
than
reason.
Earth.
This
Ancient texts
is
from
the phantom
Mesopotamia
sense
spoke of the eternal
reactivating.
rhythm,
The
divine
moment
pulse
you
that
stop
keeps
trying
the
to
stars
figure it
moving.
out,
In
it'll
Egyptian
begin to
priesthood
whisper.
circles,
The more you
this vibration
practice,
was known as ujjayi,
the more
as the hidden
precise
eye
it
that
becomes.
blinks not with light,
Eventually,
but
it will
with
guide your
rhythm.
decisions
The yogis
before your
felt it as
mind
the spanda,
catches up.
the
This
tremble
is
of
why
the
the
universe
ancient
within
seers were
itself.
feared not,
And modern
because they read
science is only
minds,
beginning to
but
catch
because
up.
they sensed
Quantum
truth
physicists
before
describe a
it
quantum
was spoken.
field as subtle,
This sense doesn't make you
vibrating
magical.
reality beneath matter,
It makes you
always
whole.
pulsing,
But
always
be
communicating.
warned.
But this is not a concept.
Reactivating this sense
You
can
can
make you
feel it.
hypersensitive at
If you're
first.
still enough,
Crowded places may
silent
feel
enough,
overwhelming. Devices
attuned
may
enough.
become harder
the
to
first
tolerate.
time I felt it, I
This
wasn't
is
meditating.
normal. Your
I
energetic
wasn't
field is
chanting. I was
recalibrating.
grieving.
Give it
I was
time.
hollow.
You
And
are
in
not
that
becoming
stillness,
fragile.
I suddenly
You
felt
are
another
becoming
rhythm moving
aware.
beneath my own heart.
This is
Slower,
not
deeper,
your
cosmic.
heartbeat. This is
It
the
was like a
original
drum,
rhythm, the
far
first
away,
pulse,
buried
before the
beneath
body
stone and
formed,
stars,
before
still beating,
time was
just
time.
for me.
It
And when I
lives in the
synchronized
silence
with it,
between your
even for a moment, my
heartbeats.
breath stopped.
And when you
Not
feel
in
it,
fear,
everything
but in awe.
changes.
Because in
You
that
think
instant,
you know your pulse,
I knew
but what if
I
I
was
told
not
you?
alone. I never
beat
was.
in
I was
your
being
wrist
carried. That's
It's
when I
just the
began to
echo.
live from a
The real
different
pulse to
center.
primordial vibration
Now,
exists
I'm going to
beneath
show
it.
you how to
It's
feel it,
older
but only
than
if
the
you
body.
let go of what what you think you are.
Older!
Because this pulse has
Your
nothing to do
name.
with the body.
Older than Earth.
And everything to do
Ancient
with
texts
the
from
field.
Mesopotamia
The pulse
spoke of the
technique,
eternal rhythm, the
attunement.
divine pulse
1.
that keeps the
Lie
stars
down
moving.
in complete
In
stillness.
Egyptian priesthood circles,
No
this
pillow,
vibration was
no
known as
sound.
Udjayat,
closed.
the hidden eye
2.
that blinks
Place
not
both
with
hands
light,
gently
but with
over your
rhythm.
heart,
The
but do
yogis
not
felt it
press.
as the span of the
Simply
tremble of
hover.
the universe
3.
within the self,
Inhale
and modern
deeply and
science is
slowly for
only
5
beginning
counts.
to catch
4.
up. Quantum physicists describe a quantum field subtle, vibrating reality beneath matter,
Now,
always
begin listening
pulsing,
not to your
always
heartbeat,
communicating.
but to the gap between heartbeats.
But this is not a concept.
6.
You can
After
feel
a
it.
few
If
minutes,
you're still enough,
you may feel a slower,
silent
deeper
enough,
wave moving beneath your
attuned enough.
awareness,
The
like
first
something
time I
humming
felt
just
it,
outside
I
hearing
wasn't
range.
meditating.
It may feel like
I wasn't chanting.
asterisk,
I was
a magnetic
grieving.
pull
I
downward,
was
asterisk,
hollow.
a vibration
And
in your
in
bones,
that stillness,
a
I
soft
suddenly felt
expansion,
another rhythm
contraction
moving
deep in your
beneath
core.
my own heart.
That's it.
Slower.
That's the pulse beneath the
Deeper.
pulse. And once you
Cosmic.
feel it, you'll
It was
begin
like a
to
drum.
notice.
Far
asterisk.
away.
Your
Buried
thoughts
beneath
begin
stone
to
and
slow.
stars.
Asterisk.
Still beating.
Your decisions come from
Just for me.
clarity,
And when I
not
synchronize
reaction.
with it,
Your body
even for a
heals
moment,
faster.
my breath
Asterisk.
stopped.
Your sense of
Not
time
in fear,
changes
but in awe.
because you're no longer
Because in
living
that
in
instant,
the artificial rhythm
I
of
knew
man-made clocks.
I was not
You're
alone.
living in universal rhythm.
I never was.
But here is the warning.
I was
Once you
being
align
carried.
with this pulse,
That's when I began
the
to
faults
live
will
from a
begin to fall
different
away.
center.
Relationships,
Now, I'm
habits,
going to show you how to
identities,
feel it.
jobs,
But only if you let go
masks.
of what you
Don't
think
resist
you
it.
are.
It is
Because
not
this pulse has
destruction.
nothing to
It is
do with the body.
recalibration. The real
And
you is beginning to
everything to
rise.
do with the
This is the
field.
inner sanctuary,
The pulse
where
technique
energy
attunement lie
speaks in
down in
reflection,
complete
where
stillness.
every thought,
No
every
pillow,
emotion,
no
every breath
sound.
returns to you,
Eyes
amplified,
closed.
until
Place
you
both
can no
hands
longer
gently over
run
your
from
heart, but do
yourself.
not press.
There's a place within you that
Simply
very
hover.
few dare
Inhale
enter.
deeply
It
and
is not your
slowly
mind,
for 5 counts.
not your heart,
Exhale longer
not your soul.
than you inhale.
It's
Let your
something beneath
breath
all of them,
dissolve
a place
into
the ancients
silence.
called the Chamber
now,
of Echoes.
begin listening,
won't read
not
about
to
it
your
in
heartbeat,
textbooks.
but to the
You
gap
won't find
between
it on
heartbeats.
meditation apps,
After a few minutes,
because it
you
doesn't
may
offer
feel a
peace.
slower,
It
deeper
offers
wave
truth,
moving beneath your
and
awareness,
truth is
like something
rarely
humming
gentle.
just outside
In
hearing
Egypt,
range. It may
initiates
feel
were
like
sealed in pitch-black
a magnetic
underground
pull
rooms,
downward.
their ears tuned
A
not to
vibration
sound,
in
but
your
to the
bones.
reverberations
A
of
soft
their own
expansion.
thoughts. In the Himalayas,
Contraction
monks
deep in your
fasted
core.
in silence
That's
to
it.
hear the return
That's the
vibration
pulse
of each
beneath the
emotion
pulse.
they released.
And once you feel
Why?
it,
Because
you'll
when
begin
you're
to
finally
notice
still enough,
your
you begin
thoughts
to hear
begin to slow.
yourself.
Your decisions
And that's when
come
the echo
from
begins.
clarity,
Every
not
whisper of
reaction.
insecurity
Your body heals
returns.
faster.
Every desire,
Your
return
sense
luder.
of time
Every buried wound
changes.
pulses
Because
back
you're no
with a
longer living in
frequency
the
that
artificial
shakes the
rhythm
ribs.
of man-made
This
clocks.
is not punishment.
You're living
This is
in
purification.
universal
And when the
rhythm.
echo
But
reaches its
here
peak,
is
something
the
strange
warning.
happens.
Once you
The
align
echoes
with
stop
this
being
pulse,
yours.
the
They
false will
become the
begin
collective.
to fall away.
You start hearing the grief of the
Relationships,
mother in another country,
habits,
the ache of a soul you've
identities,
never met, the rage of
jobs,
a world aching for
masks.
change. It is
Don't
overwhelming.
resist it.
It is holy.
It is not
It is the chamber.
destruction.
And once you've entered it,
It is
nothing shallow will ever satisfy
The real
you again.
you,
You
is
will crave
beginning to
silence,
rise.
not as an escape,
This is the
but
inner
as a temple.
sanctuary.
You will
where
hear the lie
energy
in someone's
speaks
voice
in
before they
reflection,
speak.
Where
You will
every
feel
thought,
truth
every
vibrating in your
emotion,
bones.
every breath
But
returns
first,
to you,
You
amplified
must face
until
your own echo.
you can
And
no
for
longer
that,
run from
you
yourself.
must enter the chamber.
There's a place within
the
you
echo
that very
ritual.
few
This
dare
must be done at
enter.
night, alone.
It is not your mind,
no distractions,
not your
no
heart,
interruptions.
not
1.
your soul.
Sit on
it's
the floor
something
in
beneath all of
complete
them.
darkness.
A place the ancients
Do it.
called the
No
Chamber
music,
of Echoes.
no
You won't
incense,
read about it in textbooks.
nor outer stimulation.
You won't find it on
3.
meditation apps.
Speak out loud.
because
I
it
open the
doesn't
chamber
offer
within me.
peace.
Let me hear my truth.
It offers
4.
truth. And
Then
truth
sit.
is
No
rarely
mantra,
gentle.
no breath work.
In Egypt,
Just sit
initiates were
for
sealed
11
in
minutes.
pitch-black underground
Let thoughts
rooms,
arise.
their ears
Let
tuned
emotions
not to
swell.
sound but
But here's
to the
the key.
reverberations of their
Repeat
own
every
thoughts.
single thought
In the
that
Himalayas,
arises
monks
out
fasted in
loud
silence to
as
hear the
soon as
return
you hear it.
vibration of each
If you
emotion.
think,
They
I don't
release
want to
one.
do this,
Because when you're finally
say it
still
out
enough,
loud. If
you
feel
begin
fear,
to hear
speak it.
yourself.
If you hear silence,
And that's
say,
when the echo
there is
begins.
silence. Do
Every
this without
whisper
editing,
of insecurity
judging, or stopping.
returns.
It will be awkward.
Every
it will
desire
be intense. But after
returns
several
louder.
minutes,
Every
a strange
buried
shift
wound
happens. The voice that
pulses
repeats
back
begins
with
to
frequency
separate
that
from the
shakes the
voice that
ribs.
thinks.
This is not
That's
punishment.
when you know you've dropped into the chamber.
This is
and in that space,
purification.
your
And
vibration
when the echo
begins
reaches
to
its
clarify.
peak, something
You
strange
begin to
happens.
hear the
The
difference
echoes
between
stop being
ego
yours.
and
They
intuition,
become the
between old
collective.
programming
You start hearing the
and soul
grief of the
direction.
mother in
When it's
another
over,
country.
you
the
may
ache
feel
of a soul
drained.
you've never
You may
met.
cry.
The
You
rage
may
of a
laugh.
world
You may
aching
sit in
for
silence for
change.
hours after.
It is
This is the
overwhelming.
alchemy of sound. This is the truth returning home.
It is the chamber.
This is not
And
about
once you've entered it,
speech.
nothing
It's
shallow
about
will
power,
ever satisfy
a vibrational
you again.
seal
You will
hidden
crave
behind
Silas
your
Knott as an
words,
escape,
capable of
but as a
creating,
temple. You will
destroying,
hear the lie
or opening
in
gateways
someone's
to other
voice
planes
before they
if
speak.
activated with
You will
sacred
feel
intent.
truth
We are
vibrating
taught
in
that
your
words
bones.
have power,
But first,
but that's a
you
shadow
must
of the
face
truth.
your own
The
echo.
truth is that the tongue
And for
itself
that,
is a sigil,
you must
a living,
enter the
vibrating
chamber.
organ of
The
creation,
echo ritual.
a biological wand
This must be
shaped
done
by
at
the
night.
fire of breath and the ether of intention.
Alone.
And it's sealed
No
by
distractions.
a bit, by noise,
No interruptions.
by misuse.
Sit on the
The
floor in
ancient
complete
masters,
darkness.
those few who
No
understood
music.
this, rarely spoke.
No incense.
Not out of piety,
No
but out
outer
of precision,
stimulation.
because they knew
Speak out loud.
every word
I open the
vibrates
chamber
into the
within me.
grid. And
Let me
once
hear
it
my
enters the
truth.
field, it cannot
Then
be taken
sit.
back.
No mantra.
But beyond words,
No breath work.
is something
Just
deeper,
sit.
a physical posture,
For 11
a
minutes.
muscular alignment
Let
that
thoughts
when
arise.
activated, sends
Let
vibration
emotions
up the
swell.
spine,
But here's
into
the key.
skull, and into the field.
Repeat every
You've seen
single
it in
thought
old
that
statues,
arises.
Figures with their
Out
mouths
loud.
closed but eyes wide,
As soon
as if hearing
as you
from
hear
within.
it. If you think,
You've heard it whispered
I don't want to
in
do this,
advanced
say it
yogic
out loud.
texts.
If you feel fear,
Kachari mudra,
speak
the
it.
tongue
If you
turned
hear
upward,
silence,
touching the soft
say,
palate behind the upper
there
teeth.
is
They weren't
silence.
joking.
Do this without
seal
editing,
activates the circuit of
judging,
internal
or
current,
stopping.
the microcosmic
It will be
orbit.
awkward. It
completes
will
the loop
be
between the root
intense.
and the crown.
But after
It
several
awakens
minutes,
the serpent,
a strange
not
shift
metaphorically.
happens. The voice that
Energetically.
repeats
This
begins to
practice was
separate
hidden
from
not
the
because
voice
it was
that
too
thinks.
advanced,
That's
but
when
because it
you
worked
know
too
you've
fast.
dropped into
If
the
done
chamber.
incorrectly, it can
And in
trigger
that
spontaneous
space,
kriyas,
your vibration
energetic
begins
spasms,
to clarify.
overwhelming
You begin to hear the
emotional
difference between
release,
ego and intuition,
even psychic overload.
between old
But if
programming
done with
and
presence,
soul
it
direction.
unlocks the
When
internal
it's over,
technology of the gods.
you may feel
The
drained.
seal is real,
You
and your
may
body is ready.
cry.
The seal
You
activation
may
technique,
laugh.
beginner level. Before
You may sit
attempting
in
the
silence
advanced
for
technique,
hours
start
after.
here.
This
Your
is
nervous
the
system must be
alchemy
ready.
of sound. This
Sit
is
in
the truth
meditative posture,
returning home.
eyes closed,
This is not about
shoulders
speech.
relaxed. 2.
It's about power.
Breathe slowly.
A vibrational
Inhale
seal
through nose,
hidden behind
exhale
your
through
words,
nose.
capable
3.
of creating,
On the fourth breath,
destroying,
curl the tongue
or opening
gently
gateways to
upward,
other planes if
pressing
activated
the
with
tip
sacred
toward the
intent.
soft palate, just
You were
behind
taught
your
that
front
words
teeth.
have power.
4.
But that's a shadow
Maintain
of the
this
truth.
seal while breathing.
The
You may
truth is
feel
that the tongue itself
asterisk,
is a sigil,
pressure in the
a
forehead,
living,
asterisk tingling
vibrating
in the spine,
organ of creation.
asterisk,
A biological
a subtle
wand
hum
shaped by
in
the
the
fire of
ears.
breath and the ether
5.
of intention.
Do this for 3
And
minutes
it's sealed
only. That's enough to
by
open the
habit,
circuit. Over
by
time,
noise,
if your body is ready,
by
you can
misuse.
extend the
The
tongue
ancient
deeper
masters,
toward
those
the nasal
few who
passage,
understood this,
but
rarely
only if
spoke,
guided,
not
only
out of
if
piety,
your inner current is stable.
but out of precision.
Now here's what happens when the
Because
seal
they
is
knew.
truly active. Asterisk
Every
thoughts
word
slow,
vibrates
but
into the
awareness
grid,
sharpens.
and once it enters the
Asterisk.
field,
The
it
mind
cannot
becomes
be
quiet,
taken back.
but not passive.
beyond words,
it begins to receive.
is
Asterisk.
something deeper.
You may hear
a
sounds not made
physical
in this dimension.
posture.
Asterisk.
A muscular alignment that,
Your
when
body
activated,
begins to
sends
vibrate as one
vibration
unit,
up the
not
spine,
separate
into the
parts.
skull,
This is
and
the
into
alignment
the
of the
field.
internal
You've seen
field.
it in old
But
statues'
heed this
figures,
warning.
with their mouths
If you
closed but
activate
eyes
the seal
wide,
with
as if
anger
hearing
in
from
your
within.
system,
You've heard
if
it
you
whispered
speak
in
words of
advanced
harm with
yogic
your tongue
texts.
sealed, you will amplify that poison in yourself. This technique is not neutral. It is a sword. Use
They
it
weren't
with reverence,
joking.
and always
This
cleanse
seal
with breath and
activates the
silence
circuit of
afterward.
internal
This veil is
Kurinda
not around you. It
microcosmic
is inside
orbit.
you.
It
A
completes
web
the
of
loop
invisible
between the root
programs,
and the
beliefs,
crown.
and loops, broadcasting
It awakens
your
the
past into your
serpent,
future,
not
unless
metaphorically,
you dissolve it at the vibrational
energetically.
root. You're not just thinking.
This practice was
you're
hidden,
being thought.
not because it was too
What if
advanced,
I told you that
but
most of what
because
you
it
believe
worked too
isn't
fast.
yours?
If done
The fear,
incorrectly,
the
it can
doubt,
trigger
the shame
spontaneous
passed
kriyas,
to you not
energetic
just through
spasms,
words, but through
overwhelming
vibrations,
emotional
your mother's
release,
silence,
even
your father's
psychic
worry,
overload.
the grief
But if
in
done
your
with presence,
ancestral line,
it unlocks
the
the
noise of
internal
cities,
technology of the
the
gods.
flicker of a screen.
The seal is
Each
real,
became an imprint.
and your body
Each
is
became
ready.
a thought
The
form.
seal
You see,
activation technique,
thoughts are not
beginner
fleeting.
level.
Thoughts
Before
are fields.
attempting the advanced
They
technique,
spin.
start
They
here.
feed.
Your nervous
They seek
system
hosts.
must be
And
ready.
when repeated with
Sit in
emotion,
meditative
especially
posture.
fear, they embed
Eyes
themselves into your
closed.
auric body like
Shoulders
parasites
relaxed.
wearing your voice.
Breathe
They tell you,
slowly.
you're not ready.
Inhale
You
through
can't
nose.
trust this. This
Exhale
isn't real.
through nose.
This won't
On the
last.
fourth breath,
And they
curl the
say it
tongue
in your
gently
tone,
upward,
so you
pressing
think
the
it's
tip
your
toward
own
the soft
wisdom.
palate just
But
behind
it's
your
the
front
veil,
teeth.
the hidden mesh
Maintain
between your
this
soul's
seal
clarity
while
and your
breathing.
actions.
You may feel
And if you don't clear it,
pressure in the
you can
forehead,
open all
tingling
the
in the
portals,
spine, a subtle
chant
hum
all
in
the
the ears.
mantras,
Do this for 3
align
minutes
all
only.
the chakras,
That's
and
enough
still
to
find
open the
yourself circling
circuit.
the same
Over time,
patterns again
if your body
and
is
again
ready,
and
you can
again.
extend the
In
tongue deeper
Atlantis,
toward
adepts
the nasal
weren't allowed to
passage.
touch crystal technology
But only if guided.
until they had burned away
Only
all
if your
false
inner
thought
current
forms.
is stable.
In
Now here's
Egypt,
what happens when the seal
initiates walked
is truly
through
active.
vibrational chambers,
Thoughts
rooms
slow,
that reflected
but
back their
awareness
mental frequencies
sharpens.
as
The
audible
mind
sounds.
becomes
If
quiet,
the sound was
but
impure,
not
they
passive.
could not
It begins
pass.
to receive.
This isn't
You
myth.
may hear
This is
sounds not
vibrational
made
law.
in this
If your
dimension.
thought field is
Your
cluttered,
body begins to
your
vibrate
energy
as one
remains
unit,
distorted.
not
But you
separate
can dissolve
parts.
it.
This
Not with
is the
effort,
alignment
but with
of the
pure
internal
awareness.
field. But
It's
heed
time to enter
this
the veil
warning.
and burn the old
If
code.
you activate the
thought
seal
form
with
purging
anger
ritual.
in your
This is
system,
best done immediately
if you speak
after
words of
strong
harm with
emotional
your
reaction,
tongue
anger,
sealed,
sadness,
you will amplify
jealousy,
that poison in
etc.
yourself.
If you're calm,
This
that's
technique
fine too,
is not
but the veil
neutral.
is thinnest
It is
when
a
emotion is
sword.
raw. 1.
Use it
Sit in
with
stillness.
reverence.
Close
And
your
always
eyes.
cleanse
Hands over
with
your
breath
belly.
and
2.
silence
Recall the
afterward.
last
This
limiting
veil
thought you heard
is
in
not
your mind.
around
Something
you.
like,
It is
asterisk,
inside you,
I don't
a web
deserve this.
of invisible
Asterisk,
programs.
they don't really
beliefs,
see me.
and loops
Asterisk,
broadcasting your past
I'm
into
not
your
strong
future
enough.
unless you
3.
dissolve it
Say
at
it
the
aloud
vibrational
once,
root.
then pause.
You're not just thinking,
4. Ask
you're being
within,
thought.
whose
What if
voice
I
is
told
this?
you that
Let the
most of what
image
you
arise.
believe
It may be
isn't
a parent,
yours?
a teacher,
The fear,
a lover,
the
or
doubt,
even yourself at
the
a
shame
younger
passed
age.
to you, not just
5.
through words,
Now say aloud,
but through
I
vibrations.
see you, I feel you,
Your mother's
and I now
silence,
return this
your
thought
father's
form to
worry,
the field. It is no
the grief
longer mine.
in your ancestral
6.
line. The noise
Breathe
of
in
cities.
deeply, and as you
The
exhale,
flicker of a screen.
imagine light spiraling out from
Each
your body,
became an imprint.
burning the thought form
Each
into
became
neutral
a
energy.
thought form.
You may feel lightheaded.
You see,
you may yawn,
thoughts are
burp,
not fleeting.
cry,
Thoughts are
tremble.
fields.
That's the field
They
purging.
spin,
Do this for 3
they
separate thought
feed.
forms in one
They
session.
seek
And afterward,
hosts.
stillness.
And when repeated with emotion
Not emptiness,
especially,
but
here they
clarity.
embed
You'll
themselves
find
into
that
your auric
decisions
body
come quicker.
like
That
parasites
doubt fades
wearing your
before it
voice.
forms,
They tell
and
you,
your field becomes harder to
You're not
influence by
ready.
outside noise.
you
But
can't
remember, these
trust
forms
this.
may return in
This
disguise.
isn't real.
They'll try different voices,
This
different
won't
logic.
last.
But once
and
you've
they
seen
say
the
it in your
veil,
tone.
you can pierce
So
it again
you
with
think
ease.
it's your own
All
wisdom.
it takes is a question.
But it's the veil,
Is this truly
the hidden
mine?
mesh
This
between
is
your
the ancient
soul's
coil at the
clarity
base of your spine,
and your actions.
dormant in most,
And if you don't
feared
clear
by
it,
many,
you can open all the
misunderstood by nearly
portals,
all.
chant
But
all the
when awakened
mantras,
with sacred
align all the chakras
precision,
and still
it
find yourself
unravels
circling the
illusion
same
of
patterns
separation
again
and reveals your
and
divine
again
architecture.
and
There is a
again.
fire
In
sleeping in your
Atlantis,
body.
adepts
Not
weren't
metaphor,
allowed to touch
not
crystal
symbol,
technology
a real,
until they had
biological
burned
energy,
away all false thought
coiled,
forms.
intelligent,
In
alive.
Egypt,
The
initiates
ancients
walked
called
through
it
vibrational
Kundalini in
chambers rooms that
Sanskrit.
reflected back their
In
mental
Egypt,
frequencies
it
as
was
audible
depicted
sounds.
as the Uraeus,
If the sound was
serpent
impure,
rising from
they
the
could not
brow of
pass.
awakened pharaohs.
This isn't
In
myth.
esoteric
This
Christianity,
is vibrational
it was
law.
the Holy Spirit
If your thought field is
descending like a
cluttered,
flame.
your energy
In Kabbalah,
remains
it
distorted.
was the serpent of Da'at,
But you can dissolve
knowledge
it,
hidden between
not with
the
effort,
spheres
but
of the tree of life.
with pure
But this energy
awareness. It's
is
time
not
to
a
enter the
toy.
Veyland.
It is
Burn
the most sacred,
the old code,
the most dangerous,
the thought form
the most
purging ritual.
liberating force you will
This is
ever
best done
experience.
immediately after
And
strong
it lives
emotional
inside
reaction,
you,
anger, sadness,
dormant,
jealousy,
waiting
etc.
for the moment you
Feel
are
calm.
vibrationally
That's fine.
stable enough to
Too, but
receive
The
it.
veil is thinnest
Because once it
when emotion
moves,
is raw.
it never goes
Sit in
back.
stillness.
I've seen people chase
your eyes.
Kundalini
Hands
with
over your
breathwork,
belly.
with psychedelics,
Recall
with
the
force
last
and
limiting
end up
thought you
broken,
heard in your mind.
disoriented,
Something like,
psychically scorched.
I don't deserve this.
Why?
They don't really
Because they
see me.
tried to
I'm
open
not
the
strong
gate
enough.
with ego.
Say it
But
aloud
the threshold
once.
of the serpent
Then
does
pause.
not respond
Ask
to will.
within.
It responds to
Whose
readiness.
voice is this?
And if you've made it this far
Let the
in
image
this
arise.
script, if
It
your
may
field
be
has absorbed the
a
previous
parent,
vibrations,
a teacher,
if your phantom
a
sense is
lover,
awakening,
or even
if your
yourself
breath has shown you the
at a
mirror,
younger age.
if your
Now
thoughts
say
have begun
aloud,
to quiet,
I
then it means
see
the
you.
serpent has
I
already begun
feel
to
you,
stir.
and I now
You may have
return this
felt
thought form to the
asterisk
field.
tingling
It
in
is
the
no
spine,
longer mine.
asterisk
Breathe in
heat
deeply,
in the
and as
base
you
of the
exhale,
back,
imagine
asterisk
light spiraling
vivid
out from your
dreams,
body, burning the thought
asterisk
form into
spontaneous
neutral
waves
energy.
of emotion
You
or
may
joy.
feel
These are the
lightheaded.
early whispers.
You may
Now,
yawn.
let's meet her
burp,
properly, but
cry,
gently, with
tremble.
reverence.
That's
with rhythm,
the field
the serpent
purging.
stirring ritual,
Do this for
preparatory.
3 seconds. separate thought
This is not a
forms
full
in one
activation.
session.
That requires
And
deep,
afterward,
guided
stillness.
initiation.
Not
But this
emptiness,
invitation
but
is safe
clarity.
and powerful enough to awaken
you'll find
the
that
first
decisions
coil.
come quicker.
1.
That
Sit
doubt
cross-legged,
fades
spine
before
tall,
it
hands resting on
forms.
knees,
That your
palms up.
field becomes
2.
harder to
Begin with
influence
3 slow
by
breaths,
outside noise.
eyes closed,
But remember,
tongue touching the
these
roof of the
forms
mouth,
may
the seal.
return
3.
in disguise.
On the 4th
They'll try
inhale,
different voices,
contract the muscles at the
different
base of
logic.
your spine.
But once you've
as
seen
if
the veil,
stopping
you can
urination.
pierce it again
Hold
with
this
ease.
contraction.
All it takes
4.
is a question.
Inhale deeply and
Is this
imagine
truly
pulling
mine?
energy from
This
the base
is the
of your
sense
spine
beyond the
up
five
to
buried
the crown of
beneath
your
the
head.
noise of thought,
5.
dimmed by
Exhale
modern
slowly.
light, but
Release
still
the
alive.
contraction
And it remembers how to
imagine
see
light
what eyes
cascading
cannot.
back down your
There
body.
is something in you
6.
that sees.
Repeat this 7
even
times.
in total
no more.
darkness.
Do not force visuals.
It hears
Let
when
them
no
emerge.
sound is made.
What you may feel.
It senses before
Asterisk.
anything happens.
A gentle
the
wave
ancients
rising along
knew
your spine.
of this fact.
Sudden memories.
They called it the inner
Asterisk
eye,
pressure
the
at the
AGN,
crown.
the
Asterisk.
Hekasite, or
A flicker
simply
of light
the
behind
knowing.
closed eyes.
But over
This
time,
is the
it was
threshold.
labeled
Do not push
superstition.
beyond it.
Buried beneath
Just
school
feel.
books and
The
fluorescent
serpent will
lights.
move when the heart is steady.
And yet,
not when the ego
in
commands
moments
it.
of danger,
And when she does,
inspiration,
she will rewrite your entire
deep
being from
silence
survival
it
to
returns.
sovereignty.
You've
Here
felt
is
it
the warning.
before.
If you continue
A
this
chill
practice with
just
arrogance,
before someone enters the
energy will
room.
coil
A sudden
tighter.
pull to look
if you
at a
respect
stranger
it,
and
honor it.
they're
and
already
ground
staring
it in
at you.
humility.
That feeling,
it will rise like
that
a golden
something is
current
off,
through your soul,
even when
awakening
everything looks
senses
perfect.
you didn't know you had.
That's not
and from
imagination.
That point forward,
That's
you
your
will never
phantom
forget
sensi
what
sixth
you are.
awareness,
This is
the
what you were
vibrational
always meant to
antenna of your
become.
soul.
Not
In
flesh,
ancient mystery
not
schools,
mind,
the initiates
but
were trained to
frequency.
walk,
A body of
blindfolded through
radiant
vast
geometry,
temples,
woven from
navigating
pure
only by
awareness.
energy
And now,
signatures.
the
In India,
template is
children of certain
reactivating.
yogic
You will
paths
never
can
just
identify
skin bone.
objects and
That
people
was only
while
the garment.
blindfolded. In
Beneath
the
it,
Andes,
within it,
shamans
around
speak
it, there is
of
another
the second
form,
sight,
a form
which lives
made
not
not
in
of
the
matter,
eyes, but in
but
the
of
heart's field.
vibration.
You were
The
born
ancients
with
called
it,
it the Merkaba,
but
the
you were
rainbow
trained
body,
to
the body
ignore
of
it.
glory,
To listen
the
instead
resplendent
to
garment,
logic,
the diamond
analysis,
vehicle. Every tradition had a
structure,
name for it.
but this sense
Every
was
mystery school
never
pointed to
meant
it.
to be
It was
logical.
not a fantasy.
It
It was
speaks
the next stage,
in vibration,
the final
and like
activation,
a muscle
the
unused,
light body, and it has been dormant.
Not because it
waiting,
died, but because
hidden
you stopped
beneath trauma,
listening.
Calcified by fear,
Now,
dimmed
let's
by
awaken it
density,
again, even
but never
if
gone.
just a flicker.
Because your light
Because
body
once you feel it,
is
truly
not
feel
something
it,
you
you
must build.
realize you have
It
been
is something
navigating
you
the
must
world
remember.
with a blindfold
I
your
first saw
entire
mine in a
life.
dream,
The phantom
or maybe it was
awakening
something deeper
technique.
than dreaming. I was
Sit
standing
in
beneath a
complete
vast night
darkness.
sky,
A
but there was
closet,
no gravity,
a
no
sealed
language,
room,
no skin,
no light knot,
only lattice works
even a
of
crack.
light interweaving.
Before you begin,
spiraling,
place an object in front of
pulsing
you,
in
something
golden
with
symmetry.
texture.
And
A
at the
crystal,
center
a key,
was me,
a bowl of
not
water.
my name,
Sit with your eyes
not my
open
story,
in the dark.
but my form,
No
my truth,
touching,
the geometry of my
no
essence.
sound.
When I awoke,
Just
I could still
presence.
feel it, not
Inhale,
as vision, but as
slowly
presence.
and deeply.
And ever
With
since,
each breath,
I've never
imagine
been the
extending
same.
awareness into the
You
space
don't
in
need
front
a
of you,
vision
not
like
sight,
mine.
not
you only
thought
need
awareness.
the activation code.
Ask within.
Because the light body is
What
not
is here with
accessed
me?
through imagination.
Don't answer! This
It is accessed
is
through
not
frequency,
your
and the
heartbeat.
frequency is
This is the
rising.
original
The light
rhythm,
body
the first
activation,
pulse, before the
final
body
ritual.
formed,
This is not
before
a technique.
time was
It is a
time.
declaration.
It lives
a
in the silence
vibrational
between
signature
your
encoded through
heartbeats,
posture, breath,
and when you
silence,
feel it,
and will.
everything changes.
Perform this only once
You think
in a
you know
single
your
day.
pulse, but what
1.
if I told you?
Stand barefoot on the
The
earth
beat
or
in
floor,
your wrist
eyes closed.
is just the echo.
2.
The real pulse to
Raise your
primordial
arms in a
vibration
V shape,
exists beneath
palms
it.
open,
It's
heart
older
exposed.
than the body.
3.
Older
Inhale deeply,
than your
feeling the breath rise
name.
from your feet to
Older
your
than
crown.
earth.
4.
Ancient texts
Hold
from
the breath
Mesopotamia
and
spoke of the
visualize your
eternal
entire
rhythm, the
body
divine
as
pulse that
transparent
keeps
light,
the stars
white,
moving.
gold,
In Egyptian
or
priesthood
crystalline.
circles,
5.
this vibration was
Whisper
known as
aloud,
UDJat,
or mentally,
the
if
hidden
preferred.
eye that
I now
blinks
return
not
to
with
my
light,
original design.
but with rhythm.
My light
The
body
yogis
is
felt it as
active.
the span of the
6.
tremble of the universe within the
Exhale
self,
slowly,
and modern
bringing
science
your
is
hands to
only
prayer
beginning
position at
to
your
catch
heart.
up.
7.
Quantum
Stay in
physicists
silence for
describe
1
a
3
quantum
minutes.
field,
Feel the
subtle,
afterglow.
vibrating
You may
reality
notice
beneath matter,
asterisk,
always pulsing,
a humming in your
always
cells.
communicating.
Asterisk.
But this is not
A
a concept.
halo-like sensation
You
around
can
your
feel it.
head.
If you're still enough,
Asterisk.
silent
Increased
enough,
intuition. Moments of
attuned
déjà vu.
enough. The
Asterisk
first time I
vivid,
felt it,
symbolic
I wasn't
dreams.
meditating.
These are not anomalies.
I wasn't chanting.
They are evidence.
I was grieving.
Your template is
I
reawakening awakening,
was
you are
hollow.
becoming visible again
And
in the
that
vibrational
stillness,
realms.
I suddenly
But
felt
now,
another
a
rhythm
sacred
moving beneath
responsibility
my own
begins.
heart.
To walk as
Slower,
light, to speak as
deeper,
light, to touch the
cosmic.
world not as
It was
ego,
like a drum,
but as feel.
far away,
This is not perfection.
buried beneath
This is
stone and
remembrance.
stars.
And when enough of
still
us
beating,
remember, the veil will
just for me.
collapse.
And when I
The
synchronize
portals will
with it,
stay open.
even for
The
a moment,
earth will
my
shift,
breath
and the old
stopped.
age will end.
Not
If you've made it here, then this script found you
Because
for
in
a
that
reason.
instant,
You are part
I
of the
knew
return, of
I
the
was not
remembrance,
alone.
of the resurrection
never
of
was.
ancient vibrational technology
being
in human
carried.
form.
That's when I
Subscribe
began to
to this
live from a
channel if your
different
field resonates
center.
with the sacred.
Now,
This is
I'm
not
going to
just
show you how to
support, it is
feel it.
initiation.
But only if you let
Share
go
this video
of what
not
you
to
think
promote,
you are.
but to
Because this
echo the
pulse has
signal.
nothing to do
Let
with
it
the
find
body
those whose time
and
has come.
everything to
Comment
do
your
with the
awakening
field.
below.
The pulse
It is
technique
not just
attunement lie
engagement,
down in complete
it is
stillness.
ritual. Each
No
word
pillow,
typed is a seed
no
planted in the
sound.
grid of transformation.
Eyes closed.
Together,
Place
we are
both
not
hands
creating
gently
an
over your
audience.
heart, but do not
We are
press.
forming a temple,
Simply
a
hover.
network of frequency
Inhale deeply
keepers,
and slowly
a circle
for
of the
5
ready.
counts.
And
Exhale
this
longer
is
than
only
you
the
inhale.
beginning.
Let your
You are
breath
not alone.
dissolve
You are not
into
late.
silence.
You are not broken.
Now,
You
begin
are
listening,
remembering.
not to
Let
your
the light
heartbeat,
body
but
lead
to
the
the
way.
gap between heartbeats. After a few minutes,